Well, Ghost, here we are. Final week. We talked about this last night. And what I will say before we get started, no Joel Embiid MVP debate talk tonight. But we will have that another day, I promise. But as always, you got Ghost, you got Tony, Win Daily Sports NBA pre-lock show, as always. Winding down this grind of a DFS year. Only a couple shows left before the playoffs start. And Ghost, there's 6 games tonight. We already see guys ruled out. We can already predict, like we were talking off air, right? Couple days ahead, we can predict who's probably not going to play and who is going to play because of seedings and injury management, load management, whatever you want to do. But tonight, man, is it going to be like the OKC show here or the Utah show? I mean, we got a lot of minimal value plays tonight, don't we?
There's so many players that are the stone cold minimum that it's like you can't even say like, oh, you have to play this guy. There's like 20 people that you can argue that for. So you can't really pinpoint and say there's not even just one team. There's so many teams, and that's what late season NBA is. So look, it's a stars and scrubs slate. If you're not doing that, you might be in tough tonight. I'll put it that way because I'm feeling nice today there. So put it nice that way and say that you might be in tough if you're not going stars and scrubs tonight. But you just got to make sure that the guys at the top, there's very few to play. You're likely to play 2. If you want to jam 3, by all means. And need to get to the top of the leaderboards one way or another. It doesn't stop us.
No, it doesn't stop. You got to pick out that FFVP, no pun intended, at that fantasy firebox value play, the minimal value play that you can get. A lot of guys like that. Last night we had a good night. Obviously, man, Ghost, I needed 1-3, man. I needed 1-3 by Trae Young. That's all
Trey,
I needed.
huh? Yeah.
Man, it would have been a clean slate last night, 3 for 3 on the props for profit, but Trae 3-8. 380 couldn't get that last one in for me, man.
They were really up in his grill, man. Like they were trying. I was watching the game. Obviously, I had to stay up way past my bedtime last night
it was a rough one for you last night
for my fantasy baseball draft. So I got the luxury of actually watching the full game, and man, in that fourth quarter, everybody they were pushing him so far away from the top of the key, and like I'm hoping. Well, I'm hoping it's not that not that I'm rooting for the Charlotte Hornets or whoever Atlanta's going to play in the play-in game, but I'm hoping other teams took notice of that because Trae in the fourth was still Trae. But they at least kept him at bay enough to come out with that win, and you just have to push him completely off the top of the key, man. Like you got to push him out as far as possible to that half court line, and it's definitely easier said than done, but that was the key for the Raps last night. That's for sure.
Adam checking in on remote says at least you didn't curse every player you bet on for 3-pointers.
Man, that was like I saw that special, like what did we call it yesterday? The psycho bet or something?
Psycho bet. Yeah, that was Adam's psycho bet.
And I was like, you know what? This isn't like I actually.
It wasn't terrible.
I can get down with this. And I see Donovan Mitchell's final stat line, bro. He was like 1 for 11 from deep. Desmond Bane was like 1 short. Like KD just said, "I'm not playing today. I'm just not down to play today." And then Kyrie hit with ease, like not only just because of that, but because Kyrie. Can we just take a moment, Kyrie? Like if you put everybody even playing field in terms of like health or like that, like I'm doing that for the sake of guys like Anthony Davis or LeBron with his ankle in recent memory, even Embiid with a knee injury, for example. Like imagine if Joel Embiid didn't have a knee injury. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, bro, I'm not saying like lock, like you have to have him there, but I would have a hard time not putting Kyrie in my top 5 right now, man. Like it's so fun to watch him, and he is beyond electric on the offensive side of the ball. Like it is absolutely wild. It's so fun to watch him. But he was cooking last night, and I get it. It was the Rockets, and
doesn't matter.
Still, man, that was like there were so many times where he was hitting them with a pump fake shake right to the rim, man. I was like, wow,
he's so smooth.
He's so smooth with it. Man. He's so smooth with those handles, man. It's so fun to watch.
Best handle.
I loved every bit of that.
Ever. Best handle ever, my opinion.
I didn't want to say it because obviously AI has to be up there.
No,
Philly absolute legend, but
right. I mean, look, he's right behind me,
like
right?
it's
But
like AI's got to be 2. AI, like if Kyrie, like if
100%.
Kyrie's 2 and AI's 1, I'm okay with that.
Right.
If AI's 2 and Kyrie's number 1, I'm okay with that too. But like it was obviously I didn't get to watch too much prime AI there, but that was a
AI
lot of
was.
fun watching.
I
That was a
watched
lot of
Prime
fun
AI,
watching Kyrie last night.
and
I had a blast
oof.
watching Kyrie last night.
But here's a funny part. Just full transparency was funny. Is with that bet. The reason why everybody knows the reason why it was called Psycho Bet. I'm gonna tell you exactly what has happened. Adam messaged me and he said, I got a bet right up your alley. That's what he said. I said, what is it? And he showed me. And I said, yo, I'm taking that. And he's like, I
Yeah,
knew you would, you psycho. So we call it so just like that. Like, so it's so funny because I'm this off the wall cat that bets these ridiculous parlays, right? So but yeah, it was it was attainable. Almost happened. It almost happened.
Desmond Bain had more threes than KD last night, so he's basically better than KD at this point. Like it's just Desmond Bain's just it's Desmond Bain. Everyone knows how much I love Desmond Bain.
Yeah, you love Desmond Bain. They had nothing out of Waters last night. You know what I mean? But
No Lindy Waters last night. Brett, they just waived Olivier Sarr too. Like
yeah,
they're just like I don't know. Did you check your mail today? You might have gotten a 10-day contract from OKC
yeah.
in the mail today. Like I don't know what's going on there, but it's yeah, it's fun to be doing OKC projections right now. We'll say that.
KD took the day off to show out. Oh, absolutely.
KD, I've never seen someone be so petty in a single building. He lives to play in the Garden. He loves it. Like they could
Pistol
be up by
Pete.
25 and KD's still taking shots.
See, now Pistol
He's
Pete's
so
above my
ruthless.
like honestly, I could listen, I go by the prime. I watch AI and Kyrie, but I know watching videos and reading books about Pistol Pete Maravich was unbelievable. But I'll tell you what, take any of them guys, man. Here's what I will say, and I want to get on debate because we got some good bets to talk about, some plays, but this is what I'll say goes, and I think I kind of summed it up this way to somebody that Kyrie is the best ball handler I've ever seen to be able to shoot off of a move. I mean, the way, like, and with speed, he doesn't stop and move. And his handle on the run is ridiculous. Like, AI was unbelievable with that crossover in the beginning, but Kyrie, he can flip directions in the middle of the lane going 60 miles an hour and just make a smooth jumper. And nobody else, I'm sorry, nobody else can do that. Just my opinion.
No, it's exactly that, right? And like you look at what people are looking for, and you see a guy like Caleb Love, for example, where most people will watch him and they're like, oh, he's got to be a top level NBA prospect. This that and Caleb Love is likely going second round of that draft, right? Like it's not it's that's just what March Madness is. And but what you see, why they love Caleb Love so much is because he's able to create his own shot, right? And that's what Kyrie does better than nobody else in the league right now, where like he's able to create on his own. He doesn't need somebody feeding him the ball. He doesn't need to be fed in transition. He doesn't need to do any of that, right? And you nailed it, man. Like shooting off the dribble is like I've never seen somebody be able to do that. And then when you look at what he does, not only what he does is amazing, but it's the speed at which he does it, right? It's like that.
Yes.
That's what we always say. Obviously, I'm north of the border. We love to talk hockey, so I'll keep this one short because I don't know how many people, induce a lot of hockey talk that's listening right now. But that's what a lot of people say about Connor McDavid, right? Even if you're not the biggest hockey fan, you likely at least know who Connor McDavid is, or maybe you saw an Oilers game or not. But it's not just the fact that he does ridiculous things on the ice. It's the speed at which he does it. You're like, okay, not only how did he do that, but how is he going that fast and doing that? Right. So it's the same kind of thing with Kyrie. You're like, okay, he just basically fractured someone's ankle with a crossover, but he's doing it at a ridiculous speed. And then he's hitting a mid-range jumper all net. Like
Nothing.
and he does it like it's nothing.
Oh,
It's so fun to watch.
it
It
is.
is beyond fun to watch.
It is, and we got a little. What was it? White was that white chocolate?
Chocolate.
White chocolate reference here. A little Jason Williams reference.
And
All right.
obviously, it wouldn't be an NBA show without me mentioning Steph.
Oh
But
yeah.
Steph's handles are pretty. They're nowhere near Kyrie or AI, but Steph's handles are pretty underrated, man. Like that. Like we're talking about shooting off the dribble. Steph hitting those circus threes off
Oh,
the dribble is
talk about people in your face and not even sweating,
that's
man.
pretty crazy.
It is. Everyone should look up McDavid's goal versus
Yeah,
Rangers. Ivan said this season.
that was such a troll. Like the man came back for a regroup in the neutral zone and then just split 4 guys down the middle of the ice, and it was just that doesn't like there's maybe 2 or 3 guys that can do that, and not at the speed at which he does it. That's for sure. It was absolutely wild.
There are the times, man, when I know we do this obviously because we love to bet, we love to play fantasy, but there are the times when you take that analyst cap off, and just as a sports fan, you're just in awe. Like I just like there's sometimes like I'll be honest with you, like I don't want to bet on games. I just want to watch a game just for the specific fact that I want to watch a Steph. I would love to watch Steph versus AI. Like, how all like
That'd be
back in the
crazy.
day, you remember Ghost AI versus Vinsanity. I mean, that series in 2001 was ridiculous. Still thought that Carter shot was going in at the end, by the way. Still thought that was going in.
No,
But
it's like I live for these matchups, right? Like
yep.
these certain like and you'll see that like especially now that NBA is as star-studded of a league as it ever will be. Maybe it ends up being more, maybe not. In my opinion, at least, like this is like the era of the big threes and
Oh yeah.
the best players teaming up together and whatnot. Like every single playoff series, you'll have at least one marquee matchup, if not multiple, right? So it's like you look even a 1 versus 8, if Phoenix is playing LA in the first round, like that's not exactly a cakewalk of a matchup. Like if Kawhi comes back, like I would not hesitate in the least to say that Kawhi Leonard is one of, if not the best player in the playoffs if he's active. Like playoff Kawhi is another is just, and yeah, like we got to live it. Like playoff Kawhi is another breed.
Yep.
And then you pair that with the fact that Paul George is ramping things up now, and this bench it's overpaid, but it's deep. You got some massive contracts in Luke Kennard and Robert Covington and Nick Batum and company, but they're deep. And like I'm not saying they're gonna go and beat Phoenix. Like no, I would still have Phoenix winning that series. But again, it's like it's a 1 versus 8. It's not exactly a 4-0 sweep with no stars in it. Like you have Chris Paul and Devin Booker versus Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Like who doesn't want to watch that? And you have that in every series. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, listen, the NBA, it's a reason why they call it Showtime, right? NBA playoffs. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I remember before we get to cores, I'll tell you a quick story and full transparency. So growing up, my dad was a shift worker, so we worked a lot of night work. So, I would sit up with my mom and we, NBA finals, man. I remember Boston versus LA, watching that team with the chief of Robert Parrish and McHale going up against Kareem and Worthy and AC Green and Magic, like that. I looked forward to that every other day, man. At 9:00, it's Showtime, NBA Showtime. I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like the NBA playoffs. I'm sorry, and I'm not a hockey guy, Ghost, but I know for a fact that when the NHL playoffs start, I tune in because
NHL playoffs are wild, man. Like NHL playoffs are just the atmosphere of the buildings with, like, I guess it's, I don't know, maybe it's because I played growing up or whatever it is. It's just like the atmosphere in the rink is completely different when it comes to even if it's just a big game, right? Like I remember growing up, there were some games where if they're rivalry games and everyone just gets fired up, like whether it's a regular season game in the middle of January and it's 30 below here in Montreal, like you're just as fired up as that as you are for a playoff game. But when the playoffs roll around, it's a lot of fun, man. Like the whole city is backing the team, and it's crazy. And you have there's some really good hockey rivalries too. Obviously Montreal, Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Battle of Alberta between Edmonton and Calgary. And this year you have the two Florida teams in Tampa and Florida that are absolutely electric. Like it's going to be a really good NHL playoffs too right now. And we get baseball and the Masters tomorrow. Like it's a great time for sports.
Great time. Great time. And to speak a perfect plug, see you checking in PJ Draftcast. All I want to know, see, is Tiger Woods going to get me excited? That's all I want to know. Is he going to get me excited? Because I couldn't name 4 other golfers in the Masters unless I watched the PJ Draftcast. Okay, but I can tell you right now, I know Tiger is going to get me excited. I don't even care. You know what I mean?
I'm pumped just to see him out there.
Right.
And I know that when I get to see a Najad text of who to bet on first round leader, I'm gonna wake up with, depending on how long shot the odds are, I'm waking up with thousands in the sportsbook account just because Sia never misses on the first round leaders. So
I'll tell you,
looking forward to that too.
He is gold. He's got the best plays and the best hair in the business. Simple as that.
And we gotta show some love for Corey Connors, obviously being north of the border. Is Corey Connors gonna make some waves in the it's
Connors.
Like I need Corey Connors to be like top 20 here to show some pride for the north of the border. I need a top 20 from Corey Connors.
MVP got to be Russ. What are we talking about here?
Wait, got to be Russ. Like not NBA. Don't tell me Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I see it.
It can't be that. It can't be that.
Yeah.
I was talking about Russell Henley. Russell Henley on the course, but I don't know.
James was unbelievable. Big game James. Big game. How about Big Shot Bob? Robert Ory. It says, look, here we go.
There we go. There's the take. That's what he says. Need.
Tiger top 20 will absolutely shock me. You know what? I'm not a golf guy.
He's the biggest liability to all the sports books right now too. He has the most bets on outright winner, top 10, top 20, and to make the cut. It's all Tiger. Everyone's just betting Tiger. So
and there you go.
The sportsbook would love a nice miscut from Tiger.
FRL plays will drop right at seeing a job.
I'm already setting my timer.
Listen, it's simple. It's his name right there at seeing a job. I'm telling you, man, this guy, man, between him and Spencer and Six and Joel, I mean, these guys are just on another level, man. They just, I don't know how they do it, but they do it every single day, which is awesome. He's popular, great history, top 20 in play for CC. He says
that's Corey Connors. That's Corey Connors. Top 20 Corey Connors. KC, I'm betting top 20 Corey Connors.
Spencer, Spencer is, who Spencer reminds me of, man? And this is like, I'm not kidding, like, just because he's so smart. Ghost, this might be before your time, but there was a show back in the day called Small Wonder where the girl in the show was an actual like computer, like inside. She was and everyone like, wow, this girl's so smart because it was like a computer. Dude, that's how smart this cat is. Like, I'm just listening to him like he's just spitting out analytics like it's nothing. So again, it's just it's crazy, guys. If you're not a golf
model, make sure you guys follow Spencer too.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure
it's at
Sports. Yeah. Yep. Make sure you guys follow him because he actually posts his model and there's a display only version he literally posted for free on Twitter for you guys. And if you're not using that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I let me tell you, 100%. You got to be following. I'm just telling you. And listen, we don't say that just because we're a Win Daily family, but listen, I told you this, guys. I don't play golf. I don't play NASCAR. Like, meaning I don't watch it, I should say. But I play it because these cats just make me money, man. I don't even know what the ticket is. Like, who's
literally that? I have to. There's sometimes where I'm scrolling like 20 minutes to find, like, make sure I'm like, am I betting on the right guy? Like, I don't know. Like NBA guys, like when someone tells me about Olivier Sarr, I'm like, okay, I know exactly who that is. Like, I know the deepest. Like, that's just because that's the sport that I cover. And then when I go on golf, it's like bet this guy. I'm like I have no idea who that is.
Who Small Wonder is. So this is the homework for everybody listening.
I don't know what small wonder is. I don't know what small wonder is.
It's before your time, Ghost. You got to be over 40 club. You got to be at least a 40 club to know small wonder. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
That was before my time.
Yeah, so it's before your time. That's like the Mr. Belvedere era. People ain't gonna know who Mr. Belvedere either, but I know Sia knows who Mr. Belvedere is. But look, let's get to the course. As always, make sure you're following at Win Daily Sports for all this information. You're gonna see all these guys popping up, all their shows, PGA Draftcast. You got Matt Vecchio does an unbelievable job when we talk about NASCAR. MLB dropping tomorrow, which will be hot, right? We got a big MLB weekend coming up, which is going to be great. So, and like Go said, we got playoffs starting, with NBA, NHL, and then you throw the Masters in there, man. It's just unbelievable. But let's get right to the course so we can get you guys some picks here. Ghost, right away. I listen. I mean, it's just not much to say here, but. I don't even know what else to say. We know why, right? We know why.
I pretty much drew out two pass. No matter what, I'm playing Luka. It's a big game for the Mavs. Like Dallas, Denver, and Utah have to win some basketball games here. So it's a big game for the Mavs in particular. So I'm playing Luka 100%. And then you could take one of two routes. You could play Trae Young, who I absolutely love tonight, and you'll see it in props for profit. Or you can load up on the Battle of New York and play one of Kyrie or Durant with both Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickley, right? So you get because the only way that Kyrie or Durant go absolutely bonkers is if Obi Toppin and Quickley are keeping this game close, because it's not going to be anybody else on that team. Between Utah and OKC, there are probably like 15 players that are the stone cold minimum. Use that to round out your roster. That's your entire lineup tonight. Then you look at other spots. Phoenix is in another good spot too. Landry Shamet, JaVale McGee. There's so many guys. And then on the Utah side of the ball, OKC, all these guys are 3K. If you don't want to go to the 3K guys in Utah, OKC, don't overlook Phoenix either, because they're sitting out a ton of guys also. And guys like Landry Shamet and everyone else, they're going to get some significant run tonight too.
And that's what you have to look at. And you're going to see that, like you said, props for props. You're going to see that FFEP. There's so many guys in that Phoenix game that I'm looking at like, man, there's a ton of value here.
Right? It's absolutely wild. So like I know most will chase the Oklahoma City game logs of yesterday. It doesn't matter if it's the first season or the first week of the season or the last week. You guys know I don't chase game logs. And I don't know how else to describe the fact that OKC is a dumpster fire other than the fact that they just released one of 6 guys that played last night. They just outright cut him with 3 games left in the season. So we don't know who's going to play on that team tonight. And by all means, I'm taking some shots too, but just be wary of the fact before you end up playing 4 OKC guys. Like, there's no need to play 4 OKC guys. There's Utah that's 3K. There's Phoenix, that's 3K. There's all Detroit's on a really short rotation too against Dallas. You could go there. There's plenty of good players that are at 3K tonight.
Yeah, listen, there's a lot of opportunity, especially, Luke Doncic is over 12,000, which is 12-4. If you're going to play Kyrie at, what is he, 10-5, 11? I mean, he's like, Kyrie's 10, and then, Trae Young 10-5. But Luka, when you're getting those big money guys at the top, you're going to have to use this kind of analytics to round out the roster. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Tons. And listen, I only went with 3 guys, and again, it's kind of like the same. I mean, because the first thing I looked at is who's got something to play for. Trae Young, to me, I started off with Trae before I even went. He was my number one. He was good for me last year. Going to be good again tonight. He's just been a monster, absolute monster at that price point. And then I have to decide: do I want Luka or Kyrie? I think you can't go wrong either way. Just the way you want to filter out your lineup. And with the downgrade of Julius Randle and now the upbringing of Obi Toppin in that kind of game script, you got to play this cat. You just, I mean, it's right in front of your face. So, and again, 5,600 against that Brooklyn team in Madison Square Garden. Listen, you already know, you mentioned Quickley and Toppin as well. This game pace is going to be quick. So these cats are going to be running up and down the floor, throwing up shots. So there's going to be a lot of shots to be made. So I think this is kind of like a really, really easy core. Jimmy says, do I have to have Kyrie if playing Obi and IQ?
I would just say one of the two, because if you're playing Obi and IQ, like they're not exactly cheap either, right? Like it's not like it's Julius Randle just got ruled out an hour before tip off and Obi Toppin's 3K. Like it's
right.
You're still investing 56 in Obi, and it's not so much that Obi has to outscore the 3K guys. It's that the combination needs to outscore that other combination. And if someone's playing a Simpson, I was gonna say Olivier Sarr because I liked him heading into the slate, and now he's out of a job. So if they're playing Landry Shamet, if they're playing Jared Butler, if they're playing any one of these guys, it's likely to get up to a 10K stud. So that's where, if you're playing Obi and quickly and such, and you're going with a Jaylen Brown, like someone like that, you need that combo to outscore the 3K and the stud combo. So yeah, like if you're playing Obi and IQ, you're investing a decent chunk of salary in there. You need at least one of Kyrie or KD, because that you need that game to go off basically.
Yeah, that's a good point. 100%. Javon checking in says, I've seen some people mention Jalen Horde for OKC as well. Man, he was a beast last game, man. He was an absolute
He's
beast.
really aggressive on the glass, man. Like that's one thing I'll say about Jalen Horde is, like, he is so aggressive on the glass, especially the offensive glass. Like, this man is leaping up there to grab offensive boards. So, like, look, the only thing again is I wish I could tell you if he's going to see 40 minutes or if he's not going to see the court. We just don't know what's going on with OKC.
Yep.
If he ends up getting significant run, and I do have plenty of lineups with Jalen Horde in there, just because the upside's enormous for that price tag, right? So if it ends up being a 0, that's a chance that I'm willing to take. If it ends up being, just don't expect another 60 DK there. It's not every night that the guy's going to drop 20. So, but again, it's the production's huge, and he's fighting for a roster spot also, right? So it's big. If he gets significant run, you're going to be happy you played him. Just know that it's one side or the other. He might get a 0, or he might put up 50.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's all about it's a crapshoot right now. 100%. I like this. We do the FFVP. Go says the entire slate.
Yeah, like, it's just like, I don't know what to say at this point there. I
love it.
Want to try and get a little couple laughs there out of the audience, but as I've been talking about it for a while now, it's Shamet, it's Utah, Jared Butler, and Trent Forrest. It's McGee.
This is who I got.
The whole OKC rotation. I love busy. I was gonna mention 2 backup centers. I love that you just put that up there. So I'll let you touch on Biombo. That's your play.
It's exactly. Well, it goes by the plays that we're talking about, right? You look at the game.
Someone's got to play for Phoenix. Right. Someone's got to play.
Somebody's got to
go
play
out there.
And here's the thing. Again, we can't, like you just talked about with Horde, right? We can't predict minutes, but in this game,
he's going to play,
right? And if you look at Biombo, when he plays double-digit minutes, he's a point per minute. He's a point per minute.
It's big. You're looking at 20. You could get 25 plus from Busy tonight.
Easily for 3,400. Again, these are the kind of plays that are available tonight. So I'm going to roll with my man. You said Busy B. I like that. My man. Busy B.
I was going to mention him, and I wanted to mention 2 guys, like, kind of off the wall. Adam brought it up in Discord, and it was something that I was going to mention on the show. So, but like, both of us were on the same train there. And if you don't think Rudy Gobert gets full run tonight, Hassan Whiteside at 3,600 is just outright disrespectful for a player of that upside, right? So, and to be honest, I'll just put this out there. There's more news coming. There are plenty of guys that haven't been, quote unquote, officially ruled out, but I've had them out for a very long time. And there's some more players on Utah that are going to get ruled out. There's more players across this whole slate that are likely going to get ruled out. And make sure you guys are checking the updates.
Life in the NBA, baby. Life in the late slate NBA.
Make sure you're ready to play whichever player OKC decides to sign in the next 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's what they're doing.
It may be
now,
me,
so
man. I know I lost some weight, but damn, I'm ready to run. Let's go.
let's do it.
I'll give you the
Why
best
not?
5 minutes of
We
your
can
life.
go do that. We
Best
like
5
at this
minutes.
point, it's like I don't like they just I've never seen that. There's 2 games left in the season, and they just released one of 6 guys that played last night. So
It's crazy.
again, I'm just before we end the show, I just want to preach caution with OKC because if Poku and Aaron Wiggins and Theo Maledon and all these guys are back in the lineup, just all these 3K guys are, right back to the bench. So just make sure you're 100% confident in the news.
I like this. So we're going to start the props for profit section right here. And we got Spencer over 12, Levine over 22, Ryu over 14, KP 1.5 threes, Herder over 14. Lock it. Man, lock it. Stone cold lock. I like it, man. I like it. Let's get into Ghost. Listen, Trae Young. For this, I can't believe this is plus money, man. Honestly,
I don't get it. Make sure you shop this one because it's a wide variety there. I just put it right in the middle. There's some books that have it depending on if that book is available in your state. There's some books that have it at as high as plus 110. There's some that have it at minus 110. So they're like FanDuel has this at plus 100 right now. And that's one of the biggest sports books that are out there. So at plus 100, Atlanta's, I don't want to say their season is on the line because they're locked into the play-in, but they're currently tied with Brooklyn, and they would much rather play 1 game than 2. So they need to be able to get that 8 seed.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
a lot to play for.
I love Trae Young tonight.
Me too.
Trae Young's going to go off.
I love and Kyrie.
It's I don't get this number. It's minus 110. It should be like minus 175.
Yep.
I don't get it. Like at this point, we love the plus money, but this to me is like as good of a value bet as you're gonna get because
100%.
Like barring a colossal disaster where like KD just takes over this game, like they just flipped the script from last night and KD takes over and Kyrie doesn't play tonight. Like there's no way he doesn't hit this. The guy's been lights out from deep. He's been so he's so dead eye from behind the arc.
That's the thing. He's been on point, man.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The Knicks perimeter defense their defense in general is atrocious, but their perimeter defense especially is beyond atrocious. And personally, I don't look at this all that much when it comes to my bets. You guys know that. But for those of you that like to look at what he's done, he's hit this in the last 4 games. And just last night, he hit 8 threes. And the game before that, he hit 7 threes. Like he's got 30 attempts in his last 2 games.
Right. And that's the big number to me.
Not shooting attempts.
Right.
3-point attempts.
Exactly.
He's got 30 of them in 2 games. Like, if he can't hit this, the one and only reason why he doesn't hit this is because KD takes over the game, which would be okay. After what happened last night, KD took a backseat to Kyrie. Maybe they flipped the script tonight. That's a chance I'm willing to take. At minus 110, it makes no sense.
I'm with you, and I'm going to one-up you. How about the Durant?
I love it. Let's go.
Plus 650. Plus 650 for 4+ threes for both of these guys. It's a very attainable. Very attainable. One of these guys is going to hit 4 tonight or 5. And you might sweat out the other one, but I'm good with going for plus 650. I'm all over that. Adam checking in too, and he has bet him and KD for over 2.5 at plus 105.
Yeah, you could parlay both. There you go.
Plus money, right? It's crazy. Javon says, I love the Kyrie prop. It made no sense when I saw it earlier, plus 100. See, they know. See, that's the thing. Get them early, right? You get these things
you got to grab them early, right? So, that's why I'll update the lines, like, before we post on the show. But you guys know the lines have definitely moved since we grabbed them in the morning, right? So, I actually see it now on MGM. It's on minus 105. So, you could take it there on minus 105. I just don't see how they're not doing it. They have to hit that.
All these plus money.
30 attempts in 2 games.
It's ridiculous.
There's nothing more you could ask for. Hey, if he goes 0 for 15, by all means, I'll take that bet 10 times out of 10.
Every day of the week, man. Every day of the week. That's all I gotta say. And here's another one. I think I don't understand this. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't get this either. That I love that. Give me some Trey assist to
Right.
Kevin Herter.
Right. I mean, like Herter's been a beast the last few games from behind a tray. I mean, last night I needed Herter. Herter at what do you have? 6 last night. I mean, this kid has been unbelievable from 3. Last night he's 5 for 9. That he had one clunker. 1 out of the last 4 games he hasn't hit 4. 6 to 10, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 5 and 9. And here's the thing, Ghost. This cat's shooting like 60% from 3. Like,
yeah, and Trey just draws so much attention on the offensive side of the ball, right? Where it's like, look, is Kevin Herter Steph Curry from behind the arc? No, but when you're that wide open, guys, they're professional hoopers. They could all hit some wide open shots, And Kevin Herter is one of those guys. It's if you leave him wide open like that, he'll bury you. And
professional hoopers.
That's what it's like when you're playing with Trae Young. It's all eyes are on Trae.
All eyes on me, like Tupac.
I like it.
Right?
And it feeds into the Trae points and assists prop too. So I like it.
Yes. Well, anything Atlanta that revolves around Trae Young, I think I'm all in on tonight.
I'm in.
And here's I won't say psycho bet, right? But I don't like to say pizza bet, right? Plus 1,000. Look at it. And again, this is specifically based on the kind of game I feel this is going to be. And looking at what Nicholas Batum has been able to do when he plays 30 plus minutes, he's right at this point. Okay. He played 38 minutes against Chicago. He's 17-5, 1 point off. Okay. When he played Denver, he only played 19 minutes. He had 5 rebounds, but only had 9 points, 1 point and 1 off. This is not hard for him to get playing against a bunch of scrubs on Phoenix. So again, a plus 1,000 me as long as he gets the minutes. If he's going to give me 25 minutes a night for the Clips, I think this number is juicy to me. I'm excited about this. I always throw these out there, but I'm excited about this tonight, Ghost. I like this a lot. We'll see what happens. But listen, guys, as always, like Ghost said, we're going to wrap this up and make sure you're checking the updates as always. Following at Win Daily Sports on all social formats. You already know to subscribe. Get in there like we talked about NASCAR. We got NHL. We got PGA. We got MLB starting. We got a lot of stuff going on. As always, sponsored by the Sharp app, your one-stop shop for all things sports betting. Tomorrow night we'll be back. Probably we may have the three of us back and preview a quick little thing on Friday tomorrow night, and then adios and look forward to the playoffs and look for Major League Baseball. But again, everybody, we're signing off. Tony, Nick at Win Daily. Follow us, Pros for Profit, FFVP. Make sure you get them in, check the lines. We'll see you right here back tomorrow.